Hello everyone, I'm Cole from the Kingdom, and a while back I made a video about the possibilities for movies, TV shows, and web series based in the Mass Effect universe. One idea I brought up was a mini-series telling the story of the same few characters going on an adventure after the Reaper War, and how that adventure changes based on Shepard's choices. Not just with the ending, but the genophage, who's ruling the Krogan, the Quarian and Geth conflict, the Rachni. All that stuff will drastically change the galaxy, and this is a nice way to explore those possibilities. Well, one idea I have is for a group that arises if you sabotage the genophage. Other choices come into play as well, so this group will show up in a variety of different, timelines. Yeah, let's go with that. Each possible future is a different timeline affected by Shepard's decisions. So this group, they call themselves the Abandoned. The name comes from the fact that they feel like Shepard's armada left them for dead. They abandoned them. The group is started by a Krogan warlord, a very smart Krogan warlord. While many Krogan would have given into blind rage, he did not. He resolved to assemble an army of his own that would make Shepard's armada suffer. See, if you sabotage the genophage, a significant number of Krogan die in the Reaper War anyway. Too many for the survivors to sustain a population. The Krogan as it is were widely spread across the galaxy. While most were on Tuchanka, they had citizens and mercenaries all over the Milky Way. So the warlord puts the word out and assembles as many as he can from Tuchanka and beyond, uniting them to his banner, using the sabotaged genophage to rally them under the promise of real vengeance. In addition to Krogan, they gather a huge number of Vorcha, who many in the galaxy literally treated like vermin. In addition, remnants of the Batarians join in. Whether Shepard recruited the last of the hegemony or not, millions of Batarians across their colonies and places like Omega would have likewise felt abandoned, and jumped at the chance to join other outcasts like themselves. Many human colonies in the Terminus systems would join because they were all like, we don't want Alliance involvement, until they were under attack and needed rescue. Some colonies were surely aided, but there were likely still a bunch of human and Asari Terminus colonies that were abandoned in the war. Solarians would likely not be allowed to join at all. Turians would probably be allowed, but only the most mercenary of them. Anyone with any ties to the main Turian government, no matter how small, would not be allowed. In a timeline where the Quarians were sacrificed, I think many of their survivors would also join in. But I don't think there would be too many survivors. So Krogan, Batarians, Vorcha, humans, Asari, a small amount of Turians, and maybe a handful of Quarians, all joining this Krogan warlord's alliance of those abandoned in the Reaper War. And one of the biggest reasons this group is so dangerous is because of how many people were lost in Shepard's armada. The Abandoned weren't involved in the battle for Earth, while the vast majority of Shepard's armada was, and they sustained heavy losses. Which means the survivors from Shepard's armada have used up so many resources and lost so many ships and soldiers that the Abandoned just about match them in numbers and strength. With the Reapers having claimed so many worlds and destroyed so much infrastructure, the threat of the Abandoned is very real, they are very dangerous, and they are not happy with Shepard's armada. After they were left for dead, there will be no negotiating with them. There will be no placating them. There will be no peace. And I for one think it's a beautiful irony that the genophage cure was sabotaged specifically to stop the Krogan from wreaking havoc on the galaxy, only for that act to be the very thing that enables them and the Abandoned to wreak havoc upon the galaxy. Something else I should add before I go is the only way for the Krogan as a race to survive would be to mass produce clones to have the numbers and genetic diversity to breed. Maybe that could be a major plot point for their story. And I'll admit, the concept of the Abandoned was inspired by the Banished from Halo Wars 2. Specifically, the final shot of Atriox looking over his massive army of outcasts. This shot alone is what inspired the concept of the Abandoned. While a lot of Halo content in the past few years has been questionable, the Banished is one of the best concepts in the franchise's history, in my opinion. But the Abandoned are not the same idea. There's more than enough to separate the two groups, and it's not like the Banished were completely original to begin with. It's all about execution. See, similar concepts happen all the time. It comes down to what you do with them. I mean, how many fantasy cultures are essentially copy and pasted from real-world history? Taking inspiration from other creative work is very different than plagiarizing. Plus, Mass Effect already gave them the idea for Guardians, so, it's a give and take. So let me know what you guys think about this idea. I think this would be very cool to see in either a mini-series like I mentioned in my other video and at the beginning of this one, or even seeing it in a smaller spin-off game would be great. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to comment and like. I'll see you later.